Oh, what a nice loading screen that.
Hey!
It's gone.
Hey, look. Why is there the Triforce everywhere? I thought this was a Final Fantasy game.
Everything's Zelda. It's always been Zelda.
The Legend of Final Fantasy.
Oh yeah, that's a thing.
Zelda.
Legend of Final Fantasy is a thing.
Is it really?
Yes.
Holy
It has nothing to do with Zelda
shit.
as far as I know.
Does it have anything to do with Final Fantasy?
Yes.
35th since 1987? 1970-87?
It's been out for a long time. You might want to turn the volume
This game?
down. Yes. No.
Or just Final Fantasy as a franchise?
Isn't that just nice?
Premium Digital Deluxe Edition.
You know, so the game has to remind you every time you open it. It's there.
You spent the extra money on it.
So it's kind of like a tattoo you regret getting.
Pretty much. Stop acting as if you're sad.
So yes, this is what I thought would be probably my most played game on Switch for the next while.
Ooh, it's Garland.
Yes. Some people might not know who he is. He's kind of an old tale. He's from like the first game in the series.
He's from OG Final Fantasy.
Yes. Ah, Black Materia. I don't think that's how I meant to play that out. Whoops.
So, yes, I'm a brownie, joined today with Count Ander.
That's me.
We're playing, what is this?
So, I have no idea how it's properly pronounced. I've known it as Theatrhythm. So it's theater and rhythm put together in one word.
Mm-hmm.
So give yourself an aneurysm when you actually see how it looks.
I just won't say it.
And this is Final Bar Line. So this is technically the fourth game in the series. So they had the two first games for 3DS. So they had Theatrhythm. Then they had the second game, Curtain Call, which is probably all-time my favorite game.
Okay.
So that worked mainly with the stylus and how the game plays out, right? So
What do you do in the game?
it is a rhythm game, right? So if you know anything about like DDR or if lately
Never heard of it.
you see a lot of games like Osu playing out, you may have heard of that recently. I
I am the chosen.
don't know what else comes to mind, honestly.
Osu? The name doesn't sound familiar.
Okay.
I might recognize it to see it. But
Okay.
Anyway, well,
I don't know what else would be familiar to you in that case, but
take us through it, Count.
okay.
Show us what we're doing here.
Well, I guess I'll just pick a song.
I know there was a whole bunch of DLC for it.
Yes.
Oh my god, is that your score? Triple S Rainbow?
Well, I'm gonna say it doesn't seem as hard to get as you might think.
Oh, it's on Ultimate, but there's still Supreme.
So let's go to the beginning here. Let's stick with expert difficulty. That's the medium difficulty, or
Okay, that's the average mode.
Expert sounds like it's a step just under hard, but it's really the middle ground. And
So, they're divided by games. Okay.
yeah, and they're sorted every which way you want, but this is kind of the logical way to do it, where you do it by the series.
Okay.
And they do this probably a bit more clearly than they did in the previous games, where now there's been spin-offs of 7 with whatever thing they did. They did different songs for the movie, Advent Children, right?
Oh, yeah.
So those are all in here. Now,
That's the one I want to see
Yes.
you do.
oh God, there's so much to explain here.
You don't need to explain it all because
Okay, well,
people aren't here to watch you
Okay.
talk about it.
right. Let me just pick a song to start. Let's choose something everyone's real familiar with. Let's not do One Winged Angel because fuck you.
Main theme of Final Fantasy
Yeah.
VII,
Yeah. So if you played FF7,
which I have not.
but it seems to be kind of the average favorite among fans, or at least the most known. So this is essentially the overworld theme. You're walking around the map, and you've been grown to like 10 times your size, where all the buildings are minuscule down, so you can
Okay.
see it from a map layout.
Classic like RPG Maker style.
Yes, this feels weird playing on the Joy-Con.
You usually play it handheld?
Yes, Joy-Con, Joy controller. That's what is this controller I'm using?
That would, yeah, the Joy-Cons. So, what are you doing?
So,
Oh, you're just using the control sticks.
yes, and I'm also using specifically the triggers on the controller. And I'm essentially just, I guess, catching the beat as it comes along, and then using the right command when it gets to that point, okay?
So when it does multiple hits like that, do you still need to just press it once and it just does it? Or do you actually need to use the control sticks to split it up?
So in this mode here, like, you can see you've got the wavy green line going on. That only plays out specifically in this genre of song, where your characters are set to, like, run around in a field of sorts, right?
Okay.
I think I lost connection for a sec there. I think.
Sure.
That's
fine. You're not here to impress, or are you?
Yeah, I'm gonna make this easier for everyone. I'm not gonna, like, I'm gonna go practice pretty much every time I do this, so I don't have to fucking cancel the song every time it happens. So everyone's aware, I essentially play this game as flawlessly as I can. So
He doesn't want to dirty his record.
correct. Now, this is gross. I've never seen the practice mode. So you don't get to see all the pretty things going on in the background, but essentially this mode is set up so that your characters are actually traveling somewhere. And they have it set up so that you're encountering monsters, and your abilities trigger whenever you hit a certain amount of notes coming your way, right?
Hmm.
So right now I'm hitting the triggers, or I'm hitting the notes with the trigger keys. I just burped, I'm sorry. With the trigger keys there. And like those sets of two, I'm hitting two triggers at one time.
Okay.
And like this is on expert, and that's usually as hard as it gets, honestly. And then you see all the arrow points there?
Yeah.
Instead of using the triggers, I'm actually just flicking the control stick doing that, right?
Oh, interesting.
Now, there are times where you do have to use both control sticks at one time for that. When the songs do get a lot harder, of course.
I don't know if I would like this game. I mean, the Final Fantasy games have always had some pretty kick-ass music. But, I don't know.
If
I
that's
don't
not
know.
what it's about for you, of course, then...
I don't know if that would be enough of a pull for me. It's a cool idea, don't get me wrong. Like, they've got, what did it say, 35 years of music to pull from?
Yeah, something like that.
And it's not all Final Fantasy either.
It's like, as a whole, it's essentially the music that Square and Square Enix has pumped out throughout their existence, right?
Yeah.
So, like, you'll see a ton of Final Fantasy stuff. At the end of this, there's a ton more DLC stuff that is just things like Chrono Trigger and...
Do you have
yeah,
that?
they haven't released it as a whole. They're releasing it in, like, tri-weekly increments, like
okay.
every few weeks, every month, maybe. So...
What kind of DLC music do you have?
So I'll point out, like, everything else that's going on here. So, like, they separated the songs pretty well, like, in the Final Fantasy VII series as a whole. They've got Advent Children stuff. They have this one-off song from, I don't know if it was in Crisis Core, but I know in the new game they put that song in there. And it's also in some kind of movie short they bundled with, I think, the movie. There's Crisis Core songs.
Timely Ambush.
Yes. Which are essentially just reduxes of all the regular songs.
Oh, okay.
So that's the regular fighting song, of course.
Just like a weird remix of it.
Yes, yes. And then here's the new FF7 remake stuff.
Oh, because it needs to have its own thing.
Absolutely, yes. And that's not even excessive as far as I'm concerned. For the amount of DLC stuff they put in there, there's a song or two that they've remixed far too many times, and it's become a bit too aggravating to even enjoy at that point.
And what song is that?
We'll find it. I'll just point it out.
Oh,
So for those that like FF5, this might be a famous song to you. It's called Battle at the Big Bridge. If I can sort this alphabetically, it might actually show up. So you can count how many times that shows up on the list there.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6.
Okay, so it shows up 6 times there. And then there's another game that also has the song under a different title. So that song is in there 7 times.
What game is it using it as a different title?
So there's a game called Chocobo Dungeon. I think it was an advanced game. I haven't looked into it or anything, but
okay.
Hang on. FF series. Here we go. So you're gonna see a bunch of games that aren't even in the chronological list, but like they're all spin-offs of something. There's World of Final Fantasy. You might have seen it where like the characters all look like Funko Pops for whatever reason.
This is a weird game, man.
Stranger of Paradise, which was some kind of prequel to the first game. Tribute, thanks. I think there's been like one-off songs that they made just as like celebrations for.
Okay. Like for this or
otherwise.
Yeah.
Bra Final Fantasy.
Mm.
It never heard of it.
Bet there's a lot of nudity in that one.
Maybe. Oh, there's another one.
Clash on the Big Bridge.
Collaboration.
Blinded by the light. You know what song you need to do now?
No. That song? I'm not doing that song.
Well, no, that's not the song I was gonna say.
Okay.
One Winged Angel.
I'll get
obviously.
to it, okay?
Well, just my boner's not gonna last very long, okay?
Do you want your boner to last 10 minutes?
Kind of, yeah.
Well, the song is that long, okay?
I know how long it is.
I don't think we can play that song for like half the video, okay?
Well, you could do like half of it and then then cancel.
I could do half of it. Let me just finish pointing these out here. So like there's 1 to 10 with all the renditions of 7. There's 10 too in here. 11, 12, 13. This 13 series, so they had a few sequels to it. So there's 13 too, and then there's Lightning Returns.
Hmm.
Then there's 14, which is still expanding. It's the MMO game, right? And like in the previous game on the 3DS, they didn't have like a third of these songs maybe. So a lot of these are new to me, and honestly, a lot of them I'm not really into because they kind of fit a different theme based on the expansions they pumped out.
Yeah. I mean, if you're not into, like, you don't play the MMO, then I could understand why you wouldn't be into it.
Yeah, so there's 15. There's Mystic Quest, which I think was the Game Boy Advance game. Tactics, a lot of people's favorites as far as I know.
Yeah, no, I understand that. Oh, and Crystal Chronicles.
Crystal Chronicles. And for some reason they have one game from one of the spin-off Crystal Chronicle games.
Strange.
Yes. Kind of strange, which I didn't realize at the time I first heard this, so I just thought it was part of the same game.
Oh.
And yeah, the Dissidia series, which is what they had for like PSP, and I played it a ton. I liked a lot of these songs. And then the second Dissidia, I think, as well. There's Type 0.
My favorite type.
That's because there's no other types. Okay. Okay, and then yeah, they had other songs remade for the Theatrhythm games. Kind of as like celebratory renditions, I guess.
Excuse me.
Record Keeper, I think is a phone game?
Final Fantasy Record Keeper?
Yeah, like stuff you've never heard of, ever.
Oh, and Mobius Final Fantasy.
Yeah. Heroes of Light. Okay, and then here is just the Square Enix titles, where you'll see a bunch of things that have nothing to do with Final Fantasy
Land.
Legend.
Oh man, I was hoping they were gonna do the same thing as the Mario series, where like the handheld ones were always land.
Nah. So there's things like Romantic Saga, Saga Frontier. You can find some of these games like on Steam as ports as well. So.
Oh, cool.
Live Alive? I have no idea if that's even pronounced right. Chrono Trigger. Obviously, everyone's heard of Chrono Trigger, so a lot of that stuff is on there, and they're still adding songs too.
I've never played it.
Well, that's not true. I did play it, but I never sat down and played it. They had World Ends With You stuff. So obviously I was into these songs when they came out.
Well, you were already into that game, right?
Yes. Okay, Chocobo Dungeon. This is the one I was talking about here. So there's the other rendition of that song. 7 times. You can only play a song 7 times until it becomes repetitive, apparently.
7's the magic number.
Yes. And then there's Nier, which mostly got its popularity when Automata got put out on PC and other game systems.
Didn't they
right?
remake Nier?
Yes. So that was.
So that's.
There's a bunch of stuff about that. I'm not gonna get into it. I'll explain later, I guess. But like they did remake the first Nier game.
Yeah.
And there's a few reasons why it's called this and called this elsewhere and blah blah blah. So. Okay, let me pick a fucking song. So I'll do this
Children.
Yeah, I'll do this animation version. So this one's actually a movie that plays out while you've got your notes coming from the top of the screen here.
Just a scene from the movie.
It's got clips of the movie itself.
And this is like straight up Guitar Hero style now. What difficulty are you playing this on?
This is still expert.
Okay.
I have only started the third hardest difficulty, which I think was Ultimate. And honestly, it's too much for my fingers. I don't have the muscle coordination to pull off flawless songs at that level. So
I can see this being very distracting with the way they have the movie playing in the back.
Yeah.
Or the scene, the clips, I don't know.
So, some are considerably worse than others. And once you've just hit a bunch of notes at once, too, you can hardly tell where they follow up.
When it's asking you, press this, and then this, and then you're just like, what? Despite the fact that Final Fantasy VII, and pretty much every Final Fantasy game I've never played, 7 is the one that I know the most about and like the most. Mostly just because Sephiroth is a badass.
Yeah.
And everyone knows it. Whether you've played or seen the game or anything. You just know that. Like someone with a theme like this.
It's got a massive following. It's really hard to dispute it, right? So.
Yeah. Well, even when they announced... Oh, you missed.
Yes, I did.
Okay.
I'll play it out and then I'll just quit at the end, but...
Even when they did the announcement trailer for Sephiroth in Smash Bros, they have everyone standing in front of that like weird angelic thing, who's like the final boss of the story mode, and then Sephiroth just comes in and fucking slices them in half like no big deal. Even Nintendo's like, yeah, he's a badass.
Literally just steals the spotlight.
Yeah.
Whatever character you wanted, you forgot existed at that point.
Yeah, Cloud was just like, oh, fuck, not this guy again.
Okay. The song's over there. We're not going to see the end of that because I'm too much of a bitch to allow myself to let that pass.
Oh, that's
so
funny.
Like a lot of these songs showed up on the 3DS game Curtain Call, right?
Yeah.
And a number of songs also from every game out there was released as DLC. So like, where is it on here? Like I didn't get the full One Winged Angel Advent song without the DLC is the thing. So I had to buy that.
Wait,
and like,
so it didn't give you the full song?
No. So like that video up there, that cut off right there. It wasn't the full song, right?
Oh, so you didn't just fuck off. Like, that's...
No, that was the end. If I kept going, I would have gotten a strike, I would call it.
Okay.
No, this is the full, what is it, 6 minutes?
6.5, 7 minutes.
Yeah, so
You don't need to do that.
Yeah,
one.
I'm not going to subject us to that. Now that incurs another issue that I find. We're going to play another song here. Let's go.
What kind of issue is this?
So we're going to play Dancing... What did I just do? We're going to play Dancing Mad, which is the end battle theme to FF6. I think it's a pretty gnarly song for what it is.
I don't know who that is supposed to be.
So that's the antagonist Kefka, however you want to pronounce it.
Okay.
He's some kind of insane clown-looking guy.
Is he part of a posse, by any chance?
No. No, he's not.
Okay.
But like you'll kind of see what he looks like, at least in his weird angelic form that he comes to. And look how cute these loading screens
Doesn't
are.
Sephiroth have an angelic form too?
Yeah.
So what,
that seems to be a common theme, ascending to godlyhood, I guess.
Well, I guess.
So this is the normal battle setup where you now actually have the notes all coming along 4 separate bars. There's no movement of the green notes that come across. You're essentially just holding down the triggers for that length.
Oh,
right?
they're not wiggling around like
no.
in your first song?
That's only in those travel sequences, right?
Okay.
So here you literally just have the setup of your party fighting monsters. And it's usually set up so that you're fighting monsters that at least fit the theme of the game or of the song itself.
So is that group of like 7 guys, is that just him?
That's actually part of him.
Yeah, okay.
So he's like, his final form is him towering essentially the earth underneath him, I think. So that's just his bottom half there, or bottom third or so.
Shit.
So it's just an amalgamation of other angelic forms, I suppose.
Probably from different points in the game.
Yeah.
Presumably, maybe? I don't know. I've never played it. I wouldn't know any different. Because I'm not cool.
It's kind of repetitive because you just keep seeing this same enemy coming over and over.
And then he just growls at you.
Yeah.
And there's a really angry boob slime.
Yeah.
Oh, did he turn you to stone?
He probably did. I wasn't paying attention.
You all just turned gray and stopped moving. And then he was just, like, watching you. Boss!
So that's me summoning my
boss.
summon that I have right now.
That looked badass.
And now the song's already over, but that's only half of how long the song actually is, right?
So
there's an entire organ part that plays off that you don't get to hear in this.
Is that another thing where like you're locked behind having to buy it as DLC?
No. Unfortunately, there's no DLC that actually extends it or anything. I think it's pretty much set out that they put it out the way they wanted to for whatever reason.
Strange.
So like,
well, your old man leveled up to 99.
Yeah,
so.
that's Orlando. He's from Final Fantasy Tactics.
Okay.
You wouldn't even know.
I've never played Tactics.
Yeah, so.
I just know that it is very well loved.
Yeah. But they seem to do that with a number of these songs where they just cut them a bit too short.
That's weird.
Like in the original FF7 One Winged Angel, you don't get that beginning. They just drop you in before
Goes right into it.
Just before the chorus. And I'm like, okay, well, that's boring.
That's weird.
Yeah. Compared to like, you get 2 minutes of this, and then like 7 minutes of the other one. It's like, why did you even bother with that?
Is BFG Division in this one?
No. I'm sorry.
What are you talking about? That's Square Enix, right?
Maybe someday, I don't know. But it's like, they cut out parts of iconic songs as far as I'm concerned, and it kind of
parts that they shouldn't have.
Yeah, and it's like this song specifically has like that organ solo, and then at the end of it, the villain has like an iconic laugh cue that plays off. You don't get to hear that either. So
That's boring.
yeah, it's sad in that regard, but really, might be talking for a while. Okay, I have so much more stuff to show off.
But we don't have the time.
Too bad. I'm gonna look at my party now, and I'm gonna equip him with the proper abilities that I want.
Wait, what? You can actually give them skills?
Yep.
How does that even affect anything? What's happening?
Honestly, it doesn't. Like, if your only prerogative is just to play the song and beat it, then none of this really matters. This is almost all purely cosmetic value that's added here, but
okay.
But like, you might as well customize it to pretty much whoever you want to do it. So they have characters from almost every game out here that they put on. So characters from 1 to 15, obviously. So you probably recognize a bunch. Like they got like the original FF7 guys. They have the Advent Children rendition of them. You want Cloud and Cloud 2 in your party? Go for it.
The only difference is he has got like an extra strand of hair and it's slightly darker.
Yeah. You want all the villains from your favorite games in your party? Go for it.
All the different Sephiroths?
Yes. Well, no, just him, unfortunately.
Oh, what? What about his Advent Children and Final Fantasy VII forms?
I think he's just a bit too big is the thing.
They thought he was too big?
I don't know.
Too big for his britches?
I don't know what they were thinking. Hey, there's Chaos, the ultimate
evil
of the entire series, as a playable character.
That's cool.
And then there's the one-off characters.
Oh, and you can just have a Chocobo.
Mobius. And yeah, Chocobo.
Who also happens to be level 99.
Yeah, well, now they're all level 99.
What the fuck is wrong with you?
Orlando was my last character. And now, I have to level them up by their star rating. And the XP it takes for that is, like, 10 times more per level.
Their store rating?
Star. So,
what stars?
So, you can see I've got, like, a star right in the top left corner of my guy there.
Where it's, like, gold and red and says 3?
Yeah. I've only maxed out Warrior of Light here because he's my boy, and I've only just started moving on to characters.
Okay.
So I've got a long way to go to make.
How do you level up their star rating?
It's just the same. You keep getting XP.
Oh, so they max out their XP, and for some reason now it just goes to their star rating instead.
Yeah. So it's 9 extra levels that take like 20 times as long. So I get to have so much fun with that.
That doesn't make any sense.
I don't know who I want as my 4th. Here, I'll pick Chaos, everyone's favorite.
Yay!
And then, yeah, by summons,
I guess
there's literally different summons from all the games that you can use, which just trigger at certain parts of the song. And they're also pretty much cosmetic. They have an elemental type that they follow, but that might not matter to you. But, you know, there's Ifrit, there's Knights of the Round, Leviathan.
And then Leviathan again.
And Alexander, I have no idea where they're from. But they're very decorated and kind of hard to understand what you're looking at when you see them. More cosmetic stuff. You can get different ships from all the games. You can have the car from Final Fantasy 15.
Does it fly?
Apparently. it does. And you don't ever see it until you're doing a travel segment and you're literally dropped off by the ship.
Oh, interesting.
You've got a Moogle that floats by your party, and you can dress them up. Purely cosmetic, of course.
I mean, it's neat that they put that in there.
Yeah.
Crazy, but neat.
Quite. I guess I'll go over, like, the actual kind of main story portion of it. So, music stages obviously is... Stop timing me, okay?
I'm just saying, in a minute, you're done.
I've barely done anything, okay? I'm trying to talk. Maybe we'll just do like a credits roll of everything else I have to do. That just... I hope you got all that.
The credit roll is like 3 times the size of the actual video.
Yeah, basically. So as you can see, also separated by the different series, and they're set up so that every song has a different quest tied to it. So you need to do a certain thing from playing the song, which is based off how you set up your characters, right? So this one straight up says clear with at least 60 HP, which is essentially play it without getting hit enough or healing yourself up to that point.
Okay.
And that's how they're set up here, and really not much of a reward from it. It's just another thing to try and complete, basically.
Just another thing you can be like, ha, I did this.
Yeah.
Look how cool I am.
Basically. And then there's an endless world portion, which I haven't touched, but it's essentially you just play songs until the game decides you're done.
An infinite mode?
Yeah.
Go until you can't anymore?
Yeah, basically. And then there's, I get it, shut up! And then, they got their fucking records room there. They have a card system where you just play songs and you're given fucking 4 different kinds of every fucking person in the game.
Man, it must suck to be a completionist, huh?
Yes, it does. Ugh. I'm scaring Buddy. She doesn't like me.
She was sleeping.
Yeah. There's achievements in game where, these were a lot easier to obtain than it looks. Like, I've already done 4 full pages of this, but this kind of just went without any effort. There's a few
Just
extra things in here. Honestly, yeah, these aren't too hard to do, as long as you've got a bit of skill to do it.
Okay.
And you got the time to do it. It's really not that hard. I don't expect it'll take me too long to max it out if I don't get tired of this. Records, I'm not gonna fucking bother. Well, I'll just show off my streak of my songs played and perfect chains achieved. So that's pretty much my
1323 and 1322. Wow.
Yes.
Almost identical.
Yes. I unfortunately just wasn't paying attention one day and I missed a note. And unfortunately the end song menu came up and it had already auto-saved at that point. I'm just like,
it snuck up on you.
My career's over. I'm done.
That's when Count Ander decides it's time to jump off a bridge.
Yeah, I wasn't very happy that night. I guess I'll just close real quick with what I think is essentially a song that is made to be absolutely impossible. So let's go difficulty. And let's go what I think is the hardest song in the game. It doesn't sound good, does it?
It's the big bridge again.
It is. And we're just going to do practice so you can see how these notes fly across the screen, and you can just see how I will not be able to catch up with them.
You'll do fine. I have faith.
Not bad, not bad. Oh, God. How is anyone supposed to do this?
You're good. You got it. You're good. You're good. You're good. You're good. All right. Well, on that note, while Count Ander dies slowly in his own brain, I guess that's where I'll bid you all adieu and watch him cry himself to sleep. Until next time, ladies and gentlemen. We'll see you around.
Bye.
You're doing good, man. You got it.